So welcome to the Age of Becoming and to Release and Restorative Rest. It's a Friday afternoon. It is the 21st of May, 2021. It is my mother's 80th birthday today. How about that? Very cool, right? So we're going to celebrate, just life and the importance of taking deep care, listening deeply. Yeah. So let me just set us up with, yes, I see you, darling kitty cat. What we need for class today is what we often use, which will be a bolster or a couple of pillows, and then either 2 more pillows or 2 towels that you could fold up. But one thing that we don't always use is a blanket rolled up. So like a pool noodle. Do you know what I mean by that? Like a long roll. So we're going to use that near the end. So that's, and I also recommend some kind of eye covering, and that could be anything, a washcloth or a t-shirt or anything. But especially given the time of year, that there's more light, and it definitely helps the body relax. I think that's everything. Of course, something soft to be on as well. So, and a soft cat. And so I was going to focus on aliveness. And then I realized that when I typed it in, I typed alive mess. So that's what we're going to go with. We're going to go with alive mess. But as a physical anchor, we will continue to focus on systemic, that is whole body movement, and how any movement that we do and any part of our body is connected to the rest of it, right? So this is true in our physical form, but it's also true in our relationships, is true in our communities. So I think it can be a helpful reminder to anchor ourselves physically in that way. Good. We're going to start with a little bit of movement. We're going to start with a little bit of a movement meditation, and you can do this in a chair. You could do this standing. You could do this lying down. Then we're going to move a little bit, just enough to get things going, and then we'll settle down. Sound good? So I'm going to actually start seated, but I'm going to back it up a little bit. But let me get our music going. So just checking your volume, see how that sounds to you. You want to adjust your volume. And so just starting, again, you could do this seated, it doesn't matter. Begin just by sensing the parts of you that are in contact. So whether that's with the floor or with a chair, and feeling the connections between the parts that are in contact. So if that is your feet or your sits bones, just noticing how they connect with each other. Then just take your hands and very gently notice the connection between your little fingers and your thumb. And you might create some stretch in your hands, or just allow your awareness to draw a line of connection between your little fingers and your thumbs. Then see if you can create some connection, some awareness between your thumbs and your shoulder blades. Maybe drawing a line of connection in your mind or with your breath. Then noticing a connection between shoulder blades and sacrum, tailbone, the lowest part of your spine. Feeling your shoulder blades, these flat bones connecting with the base of your spine, also flat bones. And then taking a couple of long breaths and feeling the connection between the crown of your head and the very base of your spine, the coccyx. So two very small points. You might imagine space at the crown of your head about the size of a quarter. And your coccyx bone about the size of your thumb. Take some long, slow breaths and just feel that space connected along your spine. And as you breathe, noticing the rib cage and how the ribs are all moving together. Your lower ribs, your back ribs. Front ribs connected along your sternum, your breastbone. Notice how all of these long, flexible bones interact with each other. Then see if you can imagine and feel the connections between your hands and your feet. Your upper and lower body, your left and right side. Sometimes imagine this like a big letter X. And you're welcome to stay seated or come into your feet. But I'm inviting you here to move your body, and as you move, feel how different parts are connected heart. And it doesn't have to be big, it can be a small movement. Notice what we noticed about the interconnection. Notice your breath. Just in general, notice how your arms and legs, their movement, how that impacts your core body, your pelvis, your chest, your head. Yeah. It doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter the movement. What matters is this awareness of the interconnection, the alive mess of the body. Relaxing your jaw. And start to notice where your eyes are looking and how where you look impacts your body. Noticing how your side body impacts the other side. How the front impacts the back. How the upper impacts the lower. Right on. Yeah. So just noticing, pausing here, just give yourself a moment just to notice the part of your body that is giving you the most sensation. And we're going to play with just a little bit of slow release movement. And I'm going to show you a variety of options. So one is to use a chair. So taking a chair is one way into this. Putting your hands on the front of the chair, and then letting your body get long. So letting your spine get long, the backs of your legs get long. And here, I want you to play with lifting your tailbone and your head. And so you could move the chair out, away from you, and get a little bit of a different release through your muscles, through your lower body, your upper body. Yeah, you might recognize this, that if you were to have your hands on the floor, this is a downward dog position. But this doesn't work for everybody's body. So finding your way to create some release along the back body. And then then taking the front of your body, just taking your hands on your thighs, and round down. So dropping your tail and dropping your head. Another variation on this would be child's pose on the floor. Opening up the back of your body. And then relaxing the front of the body. So I'm inviting you here just to switch between the two. Again, variation can be on your feet. One thing to notice is your breath. I like to inhale in my variation of down dog, and then exhale in my variation of child's. Giving yourself permission to experiment, to explore, to make micro adjustments, particularly to whatever is in contact, floor or chair or other body parts. And as you're ready, let's make our way into some restorative poses. So again, this is a good time just to check in with your body, with yourself, what you notice, and what you feel like you may need. Taking your props. And we're going to begin with either 2 pillows or a bolster. So we're going to begin here and line up your bolster or your pillows in the long direction in your space. Bring yourself on all fours over your pillows, and then very gently relax yourself down. We call this crocodile. So we're going to bend one side. So one elbow and one knee come close together. And then on the other side, it's long. Now, you may want something for your head. I've got a yoga block here that works great for me, but you may want a pillow or a towel or something softer. Just take some long breaths. All of those parts that we played with in movement, in awareness, are still interconnected. Asking yourself, what can you release and relax? As you breathe, just noticing the connections between your hand and foot on your right side and your hand and foot on your left side. Then the next time you take an inhale breath, this could be a very small adjustment, but play with on your long side, reaching your foot and your hand a little bit closer to the short side. So you're creating a bit of a crescent moon shape to be very slight, but you're allowing the space between your long side, between your hand and your foot to lengthen. See if you can soften your shoulder blades on both sides. And breathe into the ribs on the long side as if they were a sail on a sailboat. Then very gently, just bring yourself back and into all fours. Let your eyes look straight down and let your body reorient into symmetrical. So that last pose was an asymmetrical pose. So now let yourself come back to symmetry. Take a deep breath, and on the exhale, bring yourself down again into crocodile on the other side. So now, the other side that was short is now long, and that was long is now short. The opposite elbow and knee come close together, and the other side lengthens away. Feeling the front side of your body supported, held as if in the palm of a hand. And with that support, the back side of the body can expand, soften upward. Noticing the connection between your jaw and your hips. And at some point, if you're ready, if you'd like to, take an inhale breath and let the long side of your body curve toward the short side. So letting your foot and your hand come a little closer to the bent elbow and knee side. Creating this crescent moon shape on the other side. I invite you to really let your breath do whatever it wants to do. There's no right way of breathing in these postures. There is only the invitation to let your breath find its own way. And then as you're ready, slowly and gently bring yourself back up into all fours and reorient again into symmetry, looking down at your support, looking down at your space, maybe giving your neck a little bit of movement. And then very gently, flipping yourself over. And I'm going to take 2 pillows to one side of my space. So we're going to do a supported tree pose. So taking your sacrum, your low back, right up to the pillows or your bolster. Slowly soften your body down, but your head should be supported. Now for me, I like to have a little bit more under my head. So I've got a little face cloth here that I put under my head. This allows the back of my neck to be long. So whatever you need to do that. And then letting my arms come out to the side. So you can have them like cactus arms like this, or you could reach them out in a T. And then for me, I'm going to lengthen my left leg long, bend my right knee in, get the cat out of the way, and then drop my right knee down onto support. Now, my body has the flexibility in the hip to drop my knee all the way down to the floor, but the invitation here is to instead allow my thigh, allow my hip to feel support. So supported tree. So you may be familiar with this pose in standing, where we do it in balance. But here, we're allowing the same opening through the hip joint without effort. So keep asking yourself, how could I do this with less effort? As you breathe, imagine your heart expanding on every inhale. And then gently softening on every exhale. See if you can draw some connections between your upper arm bones and your upper leg bones. In your mind's eye, just see how the bones have landed. What shape have they taken? Taking just a couple more breaths here in our supported tree. And then gently, you may want to use your hand to lift your right thigh up to the ceiling, and then plant your left sole of your foot flat on the floor. And now take your arms. Well, let's start with the legs. Taking your right thigh bone and cross it over your left. So just feeling the cross of your thighs, like you were sitting on a bar stool. And then take your arms overhead and drape them over your chest with your right arm on top. So your right arm is closer to your chin than your left. And so your arms may wrap fully. Your elbows may be pointing to the ceiling. They may be pointing to the walls. But what you want to feel is the sensation of wrapping inward, both arms and legs. Notice how this shape feels. If and how it feels differently than when we were open. As you breathe, notice how your breath impacts movement through your shoulders, your chest, your upper arms, your elbows. And then the next time you take an inhalation, see if you can move your leg and your arm at the same time. Inhale, unwrap your leg and unwrap your arms. Let both legs lengthen, let both hands relax, and again, feel your body in symmetry. 2 legs long, 2 arms relaxed at your sides. Take a couple breaths here. Move your pillows or your towels to the other side. And then bend your left knee in and drop it out over onto the support. Take your arms out to a T or to cactus. Again, feeling the supported expansion out. Supported tree on the other side. It is entirely possible that the sensations on this side are very different than they were on the other. Notice what's happening in the back of your neck, your jaw, and around your eyes. Couple more deep breaths here. Then perhaps using your left hand to lift your left knee up. Right knee comes up also to the ceiling and crossing your left thigh over your right as if you were sitting on a stool. Then taking your arms and wrapping them over. This time the left arm is closer to your chin. A supported drape pose, which is a name I made up. But this feeling of our limbs draping over each other. Wrapping inward, creating a kind of support from above. Again, as your body finds the shape, noticing if it feels differently than it did on the other side. Notice the sensation through your hip joints. If there's any micro adjustments that you could make that create less tension or less holding through your inner thighs and your hips. see if you can allow your breath to smooth out your brow, and to relax your toes. And as you're ready, taking a deep breath, and the next time you inhale, unwrap your arms and your legs and come back to symmetry. Both legs long, both arms down by your side. We're going to set up for one more pose. So gently taking yourself off of your support. Just have to set up a little bit, but it's totally worth it. So here you can create some kind of incline. So that might be 3 pillows, 2 pillows, and then one underneath. I've got a yoga block that's underneath my bolster. You could also use like a sofa cushion here instead of the yoga block. Then we're going to take the pillows or the towels and put them on either side, right near the end of your incline. And then taking that blanket that's wrapped up like a pool noodle. And we're going to take what I call full-on goddess pose. So you can do a number of different things with your legs. I'm going to show you one option, which is soles of the feet together, knees wide. Taking your blanket and putting it on top of your feet, and then tucking it underneath your thighs. So you can either tuck it underneath your thigh bones here. Some people like to weave the blanket in between their legs, into the diamond in between their legs. I don't like that as much. Some people do. So experiment. But again, what you're looking for is a sensation of real support. Then take a deep breath in and slowly lower yourself down onto the incline so that your head is supported. And then your forearms, relax on the pillows. So fidget around and get yourself as comfortable as you can. Again, this is a great place for your eye covering if you like that. And if there's light in your space, like there is in mine, I like to take the weight of my hands, give them a little push down into my eyes, and then rest my forearms onto the pillows. The palms of my hands are up, and my fingers are just curling however they want to curl. Check out your legs, make sure that they're really relaxed. If this position does not work for you, some other variations are legs out long, either together or apart, or knees bent with feet flat on the floor and knees resting together. So take the time that you need to find just the right arrangement for you right now. Take a couple intentional breaths that are big and long, and just let yourself land in whatever shape you're in. Sometimes as large muscles, extrinsic muscles begin to release, we start to notice smaller muscles still holding on. If you notice that, it's totally fine. And if you don't notice that, that's totally fine too. Whatever sensations or lack of sensations that you're experiencing right now are totally fine. Whatever thoughts or absence of thought that you are experiencing is totally fine. Whatever emotion or absence of emotion that you are experiencing is totally fine. Everything is welcome and everything is connected. How would you approach this moment if there was no problem to solve, nothing to fix, nothing to do, no way to get it any more or less right? Again, letting your breath move however it chooses to move without manipulating it, without making it different, just allowing it. Giving your body full permission to be supported, full permission to find what feels most comfortable to you right now. This pose is called Goddess, full on goddess. And I like to imagine that a goddess allows herself the space, the time, the support to feel fully at ease. And that is my invitation for you. Full on goddess. Very gently, seamlessly begin to intentionally deepen your breath. Without a lot of effort, just let your body fill and empty a little more completely. And whatever geometry your legs are in, gently support them in coming over onto one side. So 2 knees bent. Your top arm comes over and gently press yourself up into seated. And here, just give yourself a moment to reorient into upright. Take your time. There is no rush at all. I feel like my body, like an hourglass, like sand pouring down. And you are welcome to just stay exactly where you are. You're also welcome if you'd like to take a Shavasana without any support and just let your body come onto the floor. That is totally fine. I am going to close our recorded practice, but you are welcome just to hang out exactly where you are. I'm going to give you a kiss and end the recording.